Uh, YouTube, what's going on? Had a little bit of a glitch there in the beginning. A little bit of a glitch there in the beginning. So I'm just going to jump right into it. I am, for those of you, this message is more or less meant for the guys that are thinking about getting into trucking. Do me a favor, give me a thumbs up if I'm on the headset, would you? Um, this message is more or less meant for the guys that are thinking about getting into trucking who are doing their research right now. And I wanted to give you guys just a few things where you're trying to decide, is trucking really something that I want to get into? Also, this clear, crispy audio is brought to you by Blue Tiger. Link in the description to save some money on a cool headset like this one with the detachable earpiece. This is the Dual Elite Plus. Link in the description. Save money on it. Order now because you can only use it a couple times a month, and this month is almost over. But it's trucking for you. And let me tell you something. Trucking fits a lot of different folks. It fits a lot of different people from different walks of life. Primarily, people who are very good at the things that trucking causes in your life. Not good at trucking, actually driving the truck, but are ex-military folks. Because there is a lot of separation. There is a lot of sacrifice that's made. And if your family is already used to having you away or having the distance, then it is something that will probably fit you and your family very well. Um, Now, in trucking, you can expect to be gone for weeks at a time, especially your first year or two. You can expect to be gone maybe a month at a time, depending on what company you go to work for. Now, this is a live discussion, and I want to make sure that if you guys are watching this on the replay, that you are reading the comments, because some of the people in the comments have been driving way longer than I have, and they can give you some pointers on things that you'll deal with. But just be forewarned, your first year, first 2 years maybe, in trucking are going to be really crappy. They're going to be really crappy. And the reason I say that is because you're going to be away from home a lot more. You're probably not going to have medical benefits. You're probably going to not be paid very well the first year. But you got to get that first year and you got to stick with it. If you're somebody that likes to hop jobs, if you're somebody that can't settle into a job for more than 6 months or a year, then trucking probably is probably not going to be the job for you, and you're going to get off to a very rough start if you get into it. So make sure that it's something that you can really commit to before you get too far into it, okay? There are some great starter companies out there, but do your research. Something I recommend, and I've said this many times in older videos, is find a company, a company that has a terminal close to your home. The reason I say that is because if you find a company that has a terminal close to your home, more than likely it's going to be a lot easier for you to get home um, on time and more frequently. Some companies will require that you stay out a certain period of time. Some might be 7 to 10 days, some might be 2 weeks, some might be 3 weeks. Normally, the ratio is for every week out, you get a day off. I think that's bullcrap because it just is. I don't think that that's right. But that's why a lot of military folks, ex-military members, vets, uh, do very well in trucking because they're used to that separation. Their family's used to dealing with that separation. That is probably, I would say, the hardest thing about trucking initially, is dealing with the separation if you have a family. Now, if you're a single guy or a single gal, you probably ain't gonna have that problem. Just make sure that you don't have any pets that need you to be at home to feed them. Remember, the first year is going to suck. Like I said, the pay is going to be crap. It's going to be really crap. You're not going to make six figures your first year. You're probably not going to make six figures your second year, but after that you can. But get that first year experience. Hunker down in that first company, unless it's really really bad. Hunker down in that first company for more than 12 months, because what that's going to do for you in the end is it's really going to give you the opportunity to go to any company that you want, because experience is a huge deal when it comes to trucking. Having experience under your belt is a huge deal. When you get to that first company, if you're doing on the road training with someone who's been at that company for a while, ask them about the ins and outs of that company. Learn as much as you can, as fast as you can. Don't be afraid to take criticism. Don't be afraid to take criticism. If you're someone that can't take criticism, trucking is not for you. Okay? Trucking is not for you if you can't take criticism, because there's going to be a lot of different people telling you a lot of different ways of how to do things, and you've really got to pay attention, because this is a dangerous job. I don't know what it's ranked on the world's most dangerous jobs, but this is definitely one of them, because of the amount of miles that we drive every year. Some guys drive upwards of 100,000 to 125,000 miles a year, some even more. If it's a team truck operation, you can almost double that every single time, unless you're lazy. If you're lazy, stay out of trucking. If you're looking for free handouts, stay out of trucking. Trucking is a place where you can make a great deal of money if you are dedicated, if you learn the craft, which it is a craft, it is a skill. Driving one of these trucks is a skill. It's not something that you're born with. It's not something that you can easily do right out of the gate for most people. Most people can't even drive a stick shift. So if you get into something like my truck, which is a 13 speed, uh, you might have a little bit of problems. Excuse me while I get into this parking lot. And it's got a big hole. Oh gosh. Oh, 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 oh. Stopping here for coffee. Um, if you're someone that's uh, easily tempted by sweet treats, stay out of the truck stop. Okay, let's just do that. Can I tell you guys? I want to see you guys be healthy. All right, look at this jack wagon. Took up 2 spots. What a if you're inconsiderate, don't come into trucking, okay? If you're inconsiderate of your coworkers, please don't come into trucking. We've already got enough of those guys. We don't need you here. There's a lot of things to learn when it comes to driving a truck. And it's not just the stuff that you're going to be taught in a book. Remember that. It's not just the stuff that you're going to be taught in a book. So don't come out here after you get your CDL or your permit and think that you know everything. The guy that's going to train you might have only been out here 6 months, but I guarantee you he knows more than you. So even if he's younger than you, keep your ears open. Okay? Keep your ears open. Is trucking right for you? Only you can make that decision, but you have to know the things that go along with it. We're unappreciated, we're underpaid, we're overworked, we're overregulated, and it's almost like the public doesn't think we exist until they're behind somebody that's going extremely slow up a hill because we weigh 80,000 pounds. And, well, that's kind of heavy. I'd love to see you guys put that behind your Honda. Trucks are great. Trucks move America. Trucking is, I mean, literally, we are basically the last cowboys in a sense. Even though there's people out here that sag their pants and wear flip flops, they're still considered cowboys. There's no handouts in trucking, there's no free rides. Everybody's out here to make money and provide for their families. So if that's what you're looking for, if you're looking for the easy way out, if you're looking to make big money really fast, trucking is not the place for you. I don't care what you hear online. I don't care who tells you what and what kind of flashy things they have. It's not an easy job. A lot of guys have been at this a lot of years, and even though the driving gets easier, the separation doesn't. The fact that you miss home doesn't. The fact you miss your kids, your wife, your husband, your uncle, whoever, doesn't get easier. So remember that. Trucking isn't for people that are weak. It's not for people that are weak-minded. There are a lot of high stress situations. You got to remember that. We drive in all kinds of weather because guess what? You need your toilet paper. So whether it's raining, snowing, ice, whatever it is, we got to get it there still. Those Amazon 2-day deliveries don't make it there by magic. They're on the back of a big truck, just like this one, and they go to the back of another truck, to another truck, to another truck until the UPS guy gets it and delivers it in his little minivan. Same thing with your mail, same thing with your food, same thing with everything you touch, see, wear every single day, including the fuel that you put in your car. If that tanker driver wasn't doing his job in the middle of the night to deliver that fuel, you wouldn't be able to gas up to go to Starbucks. Trucking is a hard life. It's not for weak folks. Consider this a warning. I challenge you. I challenge you to accept a job with a trucking company, but I challenge you to come out here and try to make trucking better, to try to do it the right way, the safe way, the old way. The new way of trucking is completely different from the movie Convoy. It's completely different from Smokey and the Bandit. There isn't anything like it. Trucking is one of a kind. And whether you're driving an 18 wheeler, whether you're driving a day cab, there isn't anything like it. It is the best thing that you will ever experience in your life as far as the freedom that you get, as far as the ability to roam around the country and see things that people will never see. Remember, most people don't leave the town that they grew up in. Most people don't leave the town that they live in. And you're going to travel thousands of miles to tons of different states and see everything. I'm not trying to scare you away from trucking. I'm just trying to warn you. So remember that. Make sure you're reading the comments too, because these folks are saying a lot of great things that I'm not. Trucking is sacred to a lot of us. Trucking is what provides for a lot of our families. There's no easy way to trucking. There's no easy way to trucking. Don't come out here and disrespect the road. Don't come out here and disrespect trucking because someone will check you on it. Trucking provides for a lot of us, and we love that. We really do. No matter what you see on YouTube between myself or other guys out here, when it comes down to it, there is a brotherhood between us. We have a lot of things in common. And you will too when you come out here and you find a job and you find a company that you can call home. And I promise it will be one of the hardest things you ever did in your life, but also the most rewarding. To the folks that say the guys that have been out here 20, 30 years or more should get out, to you, I say you're wrong. To those folks that say that the old hands, the guys that have been out here for decades doing this job, those are the guys that brought you food when you were a kid. Those are the guys that brought the heating oil to your house. Those are the guys that brought your Christmas presents to you that mommy and daddy bought you when you were a teenager. So those guys that have serviced this country, much like our military does, to tell them that they're not important, to tell them that they need to get out of the only thing that they've known for probably their entire life, you're wrong. We need them to stay around. Because some of the things that we see out here today didn't happen back then because of those guys. Because of those guys. There are generations upon generations of guys where trucking is passed down through families, and to tell them what their dad or their uncle or their grandfather or their great grandfather, to tell them what they did, uh, you know, you're basically telling them what they did was unappreciated. Unappreciated. You're basically telling them that they did it all for nothing. And I guarantee you, if you ask them, they'll tell you you're full of crap because they did it for something. Whether they did it because trucking was a great job for them when they got out of the war in Vietnam, whether it was a a, a new developing thing when they, you know, were a teenager in the 50s or whatever it was, they did it for a reason, to provide for their families, to do something for their country. And that's what anybody watching this video should know is there's more to trucking uh, than just the rules and regulations and the hard work and all that kind of stuff. There's a history, a great history, and a lot of people have forgotten that history. So if you're weak, if you're soft, if you want handouts, if you're afraid of criticism, if you don't want to listen, then trucking is not for you at all. So don't come out here. Don't come out here because it ain't for you. If you're hardworking, if you can make sacrifice, if you can take criticism, if you can learn and be safe, and you can honor those that did this job way before most of us were even born, then please come out here. Please come out here because we need people like you. Don't be afraid because of something you see on YouTube. Don't be afraid because it is a learned skill. It's a very skilled job. And there are a lot of great men and women out here that are already doing it. And if you're going to be respectful of our industry, if you're going to respect the history of our industry, then please join us out here. We'd love to have you. Might not agree with your opinions on some things, but if you're going to take care of the industry, if you're going to honor the industry, then we'd love to have you out here with us. We really would. And I'm not going to tell you what company to go to, but I'll tell you that when you find that fit, you'll know it. And it might take you a company or two, maybe three, but stick with that first one. Stick it out with that first one, even if it's really crappy, even if you don't like the guy that's dispatching you, stick it out. Get that first year of solid experience before you try and jump ship. Don't go through 5 or 6 jobs in a couple years because that will hurt you in the long run. And that is solid advice. Don't take risks when you come out and you're behind the wheel of one of these trucks. Just don't do it. You're putting your life and the lives of many others on the line. 80,000 pounds isn't something to fuck with. I think I made it through this whole video without saying the F word until just then, too. So if that offends you, I do apologize, but I'm sorry, I'm not sorry. Trucking's amazing, guys. It really is. It's provided for my family for a few years, and I couldn't be more thankful. To those of you that have been out here longer than me, thank you. Thank you for what you've done for me and my family and the rest of the country before I even knew what all went in to being a driver. Because it's important. It really is important. I think before a lot of us got into trucking, we didn't really pay attention to what trucking really meant. We didn't really pay attention to what trucking really did for the country. We knew that trucks moved everything, but everybody's just so happy about going to the store and being able to buy what they want to buy. And well, I mean, without men and women making sacrifice, they that wouldn't be there. You wouldn't have that luxury, and that is a luxury. Trucking's got a very deep history. Trucking's got a very deep history. And there's people out here from all walks of life. There's people out here doing all types of different jobs, whether it's hauling fuel, whether it's pulling a reefer, whether it's, a dry van or whatever, flatbed, it doesn't matter. But everybody's doing something and we all play a vital role and we all commingle with each other. What's on a flatbed today could be going to a factory and end up on a dry van tomorrow. What's in one reefer today could end up on your grocery shelves tomorrow. Make sure that you I want to touch on this, and then I'm gonna hang this up and go over to Zello. Link to the Zello channel is in the description of the video. But I want to say one more thing is if you have siblings, if you have um, a wife, children, husband, children, you know, your friends, your family, if you're blessed enough to have your parents still alive, your grandparents or whoever, if they've never been around a truck, if they've never been in a truck, get them in the truck with you. Get them in the truck with you, even if it's just to sit there and let them look out your mirrors and let them see the size and everything. Explain to them what it is you do and the things that you see. Share the information and the knowledge that you pick up out here with other people, even if they don't drive a truck. Because I'll tell you, trucking's number one problem right now is we don't have the support of the general public, even though they need us more than they really know. We don't have the support of them because they don't understand what we do. And a lot of people have given trucking a very bad stigma. And I'll tell you this, the stereotypical trucker, the fat, overweight, dirty, stinky slob does exist. But they're few and far between because there are a lot of guys profession, this career. You'll hear people say that trucking isn't a job, that it's a career, that it's a lifestyle. It's none of those. It really isn't. Trucking is what you make of it. If you come out here and you think it's going to suck, well, then it's going to suck for you. If you come out here and you think this is the greatest thing that you've ever done, then the road will become a part of you. The road will become a part of you. So I don't consider trucking a career, a job, or a lifestyle. I consider trucking part of me. I consider trucking part of me because I don't know what I'd do without trucking, really. The smell of the diesel, the oil, the sound of the motor, the road, the sound of the tires on the pavement. That does something to a person. If it's really for you, if it's really like you. There's a few people, I know I heard Thor say it before, but the roads are the charcoal veins of America. I don't know if he made that up or where he got it from, but that is correct. It's the lifeblood of this country. We move things from north to south, east to west, coast to coast, over the mountains, down in the valleys, everywhere you can imagine. And well, without it, the country would die. So, with that being said, guys, hopefully I didn't scare you away from trucking. Hopefully I warned you a little bit, and hopefully I gave you some sound advice that you can take with you when you come out here. But uh, just remember, keep the industry in mind, keep the history in mind, respect those that came before you, even if you don't agree with them. Respect them because they'll teach you something, and they're the ones that made trucking a respectable profession. Okay? Remember those guys. Don't forget them. Even when they are out of the industry, you've got to carry on that legacy. You've got to carry that on. So, guys, I will see you later. Remember, clear audio provided by Blue Tiger. Alaskan Cowboy, I saw you bought the wrong one, bro. Yours isn't detachable. See the little arrow, homie? You bought the regular dual headset, not the plus. The plus is the one that comes off, like so. If you want one of these kind of deals, link in the description if you're in the market for a headset. Check it out. Save some big money. Talk to you guys later. I'll see you in Zello for the remainder of my ride home. Yes, Food Mooch, you are correct. I did stop to get some coffee before I make it to the house because where I parked last night, I couldn't get any fresh coffee this morning. So I need to fill up my cup. Talk to you guys later. Everybody be safe. I'll see you in Zello. Peace, guys.